The good news is you don't have to be an expert mechanic to keep your bike safe enough to be out on the open road. But here's a few things to go over and be mindful of before you take your bike for a spin on the tarmac, or the mud, or the gravel. It's vital to ensure that both your front and rear brake are working before you head out onto the road. And a good way to do that with both regular caliper brakes and disc brakes is simply to do this, spin your wheel in the frame, stop it. Alternatively, just roll the bike backwards and forwards and test the front and back. So there you go, that worked okay. Same with the rear. It's a nice and simple. Ideally, the brake levers shouldn't touch the handlebars. There should be enough for a fair bit of modulation there. Otherwise you might need to adjust them. And it's quite easy to visually check on caliper brakes as well, just to see how much the brake pads have worn. Now you won't be able to change gear, or worse, you won't be able to stop your bike if your cables fail. Now cables themselves never just generally snap. It's wear and tear that happens unseen beneath the outer housing over a period of time. You certainly shouldn't need to check your cables every single ride, as a well-maintained set of cables will last you a very, very long time indeed. But something to keep an eye out for is little kinks or tears in the outer housing, as that can affect the running of the cable inside and wear it over time. So definitely watch out for that and then take some action in replacing them. Another very important set of checks to carry out before going out on the road is to check both of your tyres. First up, check them for wear, and also for any nicks or cuts, or even any little bits of debris that might be embedded in the tyre and cause a puncture later on. Make sure, of course, you check the front and the rear, and it's a really quick and easy check to do. It just takes a few moments and could save you a lot of hassle. It is definitely one of the checks I do before I go out on the bike. It really is surprising what you can pick up in your tyres, especially after riding on wet or muddy roads. Now, in terms of pressure, as a rule of thumb, higher pressure for riding on tarmac and a lower pressure for riding on paths or off-road. If you're unsure about tyre pressure, all tyre manufacturers have the recommended maximum pressure on the sidewall. Now, this one might seem a little bit strange, and it's pretty obvious to everyone, but people do make this mistake. Please ensure that both of your wheels are firmly attached to the bicycle before you go out for a ride. Now, most bikes these days either use a through axle, like I've got on this machine here, or a quick release system. A very simple and easy test to see if your stem and your headset are tight is to do this. Gently roll the bike backwards and forwards, then apply the front brake. And basically, there shouldn't be any sounds or any movement between the top of the fork crown here and the headset. That is nice and tight, and you will actually notice some play if your headset is loose. And conversely, if you want to make sure that your stem is nice and tight, clamp the front wheel between your legs and just rotate it like this. This one's absolutely fine. You shouldn't be able to move it. Okay, looks as if we're about ready to hit the road. What's that sound? Oh wow, it's a top tip incoming. I do like a top tip, and this is a nice and simple one that could help keep you safe out on the road. Why not, even in the daytime, go out with a front light and a rear light on, just for added visibility. I mean, lights are so cheap, easy to recharge, and they last for ages, and loads of people do it. It just makes sense. And finally, the helmet. Now, of course, the choice is yours, but a helmet for me is an essential part of every single ride, regardless of the distance. And helmet design over the last 10, 20 years has come on a long way, so you certainly look the part as well as helping keep yourself nice and safe. Right then, time to go. Oh, by the way, it goes without saying, if you're unsure about anything to do with maintaining your bike, don't bodge it. Take it to a local bike shop to get it sorted properly.